Based on the M109 Paladin or the mobile howitzer tank, let's take a look at Transformers Kingdom War for Cybertron Autobot Slammer. So let's give this guy a quick 360 spin in his alternate form. So as for dimensions in vehicle form, so length and up front, that's the length. So we're ready to transform or take apart this action figure, because the only way that you're going to transform Autobot Slammer is going to take apart the pieces of the action figure. So before we disassemble the vehicular form, I already did a little bit of modification on the turret or the howitzer. So these two sections actually are already joined together because of a peg system that I devised. Okay, so whenever you are going to raise this section, you could move it a little bit to the sides without splitting apart this section. Okay, so let's discover what I did to this. So just a quick and easy fix with a peg. Okay, so we attach again the turret onto the main body of the tank. Okay, so once again, we're ready to disassemble. Okay, so let's start with the cannon side. So that detaches, so pegs, connection points, and the gun separates this way, and this also would separate that way. Okay, so put them aside, and these two would also separate in two, because this is going to form the hand units. Okay, there you go. So modifications that I also did aside from that peg was to drill a hole on these sections, because actually when you take a look at the cover art, okay, where's that? So take a look at that image. That's actually, or actually looks like a gun. So we have a longer barreled weapon system, but that also looks like a gun. Okay, so what I did was just to mimic the card art. So with the use of a drill, we drilled just a very shallow hole, and then painted it with a little bit of black Sharpie. Anyway, these sections are not going to be touched by humans' fingers, so the paint is not going to smear. Okay, so we already formed literally the handsets. Okay, next we're going to separate these sections. So 1 and 2 and 3. Okay, there you go. So peg holes. Okay, so this is where the turret would connect on top. So that is going to go in there. And these sections, actually these are the shins, and that's going to be the foot. That's going to form that way. So peg hole. Okay. Now we're going to detach these sections of the thread, the tank threads. Here you go. And this is going to form the backpack. And later on, this section of the tank thread, you could join them together to form a weapon or a handheld saw. Okay. Now let's move towards the body. So you have the head, you have the torso. So you're just going to lower this section and rotate. Okay, and secure. Now we're ready to raise the head unit. Okay, changes also to the head unit. So with the use of some Gundam mobile kit parts, so we added that antenna system and that face plate to give a little bit of detail to Autobot Slammer. Okay, so next we're going to take this section, which is actually the ball of the shoulder. Okay, so the blackened or the marked pieces with the black highlights, that's going to form the front section of the ball of the arm. So just peg it in this way. And we're going to take one of the formed arms right, yeah, right, or when you're looking at it from this side, it's going to be left. Okay, so next, there you go, and take the backpack. Now the backpack you would just store that way, and the top of the turret would store on top. And we're ready to form the legs. Okay, so collapse these sections inward. So that's going to be the foot. Oops. So this can collapse it inward. So that's going to form the foot. Okay, the thigh is going to be hidden under the shin. Okay, so we need a prying tool to oopsie daisies. Okay, to expose that part. Okay, there you go. One, and then next. Two. Okay, so check for orientation, and we're almost done with transformation. Oop. There you go. And the gun would either store on top or just like the card art or the figure art on the box. Okay, so there you go. So fully transformed. So this section, they also converted that into a gun. Okay, now we're ready to form the weapon or the sword. Okay, so it's going to be something that is going to be quick and easy. So just take hold of the backpack, so detach it. So the threads would separate on the sides, and take hold of the top part and return this piece, because that's going to be a very shallow area. So we need to cover that up. Okay, so this area would make sense as a backpack. Okay, now we're ready to join these two pieces. Okay, so peg connection point and just slide it in that way, and take a hold of this connector piece, and that's going to join the top. now you're going to have a melee weapon. So you have a gun and a melee weapon. So let the figure hold it on his left hand. Okay, so let's take a quick look at the action figure weaponed up or weaponized Slammer. Okay, just a little bit of action figure pose. Okay, now let's do a quick 360 spin. And there you go. So articulation points. So the head is on a ball, so tilts and left and right movement, very possible. This is a very articulated action figure, and we have a lot of panel lines. So if you have a Gundam marker, so those panel lines, they're itching to be really painted. Okay, so yeah, I need to buy a Gundam marker, so I'm going to dull this guy up. Okay, so weapon, so let's take those weapons aside first. There. Okay, so as for articulation, we have rotation on the bicep, a single point of bend for the elbow, T poses possible, full rotation on the hip, and we have tilts for the hip because of transformation. Since we don't have any robot kibble, so side kicks, front kicks, and bend on the knee because of transformation. That's a lot of bend. And the foot, we don't have any rocker for front and back. It's only going to be rocker for the side. Okay, but actually still that's a lot of articulation points for this action figure. So this is supposed to be an action figure that you take apart and weaponize other Decepticon or Autobot figures. But I'm really enjoying this as a Autobot character, as a character that is not a piece that's going to really weaponize other Transformers. I like it as is. So the concept is nice. Transformation is very easy because you don't need to move around parts or screw up the transformation process. All you need is just to take the action figure apart. And in its alternate forms, either in robot form or in its M109 Paladin form or mobile howitzer, really looks great. Very blocky and very nice, actually. A lot of details. So, well, of course, because of transformation, those areas would be hollow. But overall, I'm really enjoying the build. So, if you like this review, very simple and very straightforward, like, comment, and subscribe to help me grow my channel. And see you on the next action figure or custom action figure review.